Почему сбивают?
Я не знаю.
На, вот вчера
О,
полетели.
смотри.
Хуяк.
Где-то там не горит, значит.
Он летит назад. Я вижу его еще. Где летит? Вот, над нами.
In the Stavropol Krai, drones attacked one of the largest chemical plants in Russia, Novinomysky Azot, which is involved in the rocket engine production chain. The attack on the plant was reported by Astra. The attack took place on the morning of June 14, 2025, in the city of Novinomysk, the Stavropol Krai. According to published photos and videos, a massive fire broke out on the territory of the enterprise after the drone strike. Despite confirming the damage to the plant, Governor of the Stavropol Krai, Vladimir Vladimirov, did not recognize the attack on the industrial zone, saying only that the UAV debris fell and a minor fire broke out as a result. The governor also reported injuries, but later clarified that there were no casualties as a result of the fallen wreckage. Novinomysky Azot is the largest producer of nitrogen fertilizers and ammonia in Russia, part of the Eurochem group. Its total production capacity is over 1 million tons of ammonia and 1.4 million tons of ammonium nitrate per year. Urea production reaches 0.89 million tons per year. The plant is 650 kilometers from the government-controlled territory of Ukraine. Due to its size, the plant is also a regular supplier of chemical components to Iskra, one of Russia's largest machine-building enterprises, a developer and manufacturer of solid-fuel rocket engines and their components for missile systems for various purposes, including for the Russian strategic forces. According to publicly available data on contracts, Novinomysky Azot has 2 contracts with Iskra for the supply of products worth a total of 3.3 million rubles. In addition, according to the head of the Center for Countering Disinformation, Andriy Kovalenko, the plant synthesizes melamine, acetic acid, methanol, and potassium nitrate, dual-use substances often used in the production of high-explosive devices, landmines, and rocket-propelled grenades. Earlier, Militarnie reported that attack drones struck the Azot chemical plant in the Tula region, which produces components used to make explosives for ammunition. A combat aircraft returning from a combat mission crashed in Mali near the Niger River. The General Staff of Mali reported that the aircraft was carrying out a mission in the interests of the armed forces of Mali, but did not belong directly to them. The warplane was returning from a mission in the interests of the armed forces of Mali in the eastern area of Operation Dogo Koloko, the official statement said. It is noted that the purpose of this operation, launched on April 25, 2025, is to restore Malian state sovereignty throughout the country. The report also specifies that the plane was a 2-seater. Both pilots were rescued and are currently in satisfactory condition and are receiving medical care. The cause of the crash is said to be a sharp deterioration in weather conditions, in particular, a severe dust storm. Initial data indicate a sudden meteorological degradation, in particular a severe dust storm at the time of the accident, the General Staff said. According to preliminary information, the crash was caused by a Su-24M 2-seat frontline bomber from the Russian Afrika Korps. Recently, the American aerospace company Maxar released satellite images showing the presence of Russian Su-24M in Mali. Russian mercenaries from this formation are performing combat missions that the Russian Defense Ministry cannot involve regular army units in. Today, Russia, seeking to expand its influence in Africa, is actively recruiting new mercenaries to replace the Wagner PMC group on the continent. The so-called Afrika Korps strengthens Russia's military presence through a network of bases controlled by the Russian Ministry of Defense. Moscow is trying to regain influence similar to the Cold War against the backdrop of weakening Western positions in the region. This also allows the Kremlin to strengthen its control over its business network in Africa, particularly in the lucrative mining sector. Recently, mercenaries of the Russian Afrika Korps were ambushed by Azawad rebels in northern Mali. Last year, a fire broke out at the base of Russian mercenaries from the Afrika Korps in the Krasnodar region of Russia. Back to the Middle East. The Iranian military has launched a massive strike on Tel Aviv. According to Israeli sources, dozens of ballistic missiles were fired at the city. media published a video showing the Israeli air defense system operating during the interception of the missiles. In Iran, the attack is called True Promise 3. Two previous attacks in April 2024 and October 2024 had similar names. According to the Magen David Adom Medical Service, several Israelis were lightly injured as a result of at least 7 rocket attacks on Tel Aviv neighborhoods. The Israeli police confirmed that several residential buildings were damaged by the shelling, and fires broke out in some areas. To intercept the Iranian missiles, the Iron Dome air defense systems were used, which managed to shoot down some of the missiles. This strike was Iran's response to a large-scale air attack carried out by Israel the day before on Iranian strategic targets. On June 13th, the Israeli Air Force struck nuclear facilities in Natanz and Fordo, as well as missile bases in Kermanshah and Khorramabad. Israel also eliminated the top leadership of the armed forces and the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Israeli shelling also targeted major Iranian cities such as Tehran, Isfahan, Tabriz, and others, where, according to intelligence, high-ranking officials, scientists involved in the nuclear program, and military commanders live. In an official statement, the Israeli Defense Forces said that the strikes were aimed at damaging Iran's nuclear infrastructure and were a response to the ongoing aggression of the Iranian regime. According to the IDF, Iran is on the verge of developing nuclear weapons and already has enough enriched uranium to produce several nuclear warheads within a few days. For the first time, the Navy of the People's Liberation Army of China has deployed 2 aircraft carrier groups simultaneously in the same region of the Pacific Ocean. This was reported by Naval News. It's about the Liaoning aircraft carrier, a modernized former Soviet Varyag of the 1143 Krai project, and the first Chinese national-built aircraft carrier Shandong. Both ships are currently operating in the Western Pacific. The Liaoning aircraft carrier group was the first to enter the region. On May 25th, it passed through the Miyako Strait and appeared in the Philippine Sea. The group consists of a Type 055 cruiser, a Type 052D destroyer, and a support vessel. After appearing in the Philippine Sea, the group headed south, covering the east coast of the Philippines, and on May 30th turned northeast toward Marcos Island. By June 8th, the Liaoning was heading west again, closing the distance to the other Chinese carrier group. On the same day, the carrier performed flight operations with takeoff and landing of deck aircraft. The second aircraft carrier group, led by the Shandong, entered the region through the Bashi Strait, which separates Taiwan and the Philippines. The force consists of a Type 055 cruiser, a Type 052D destroyer, 2 Type 054 frigates, and a Type 0903A replenishment vessel. As of June 9th, it was south of Japan and was conducting flights with the participation of aircraft and helicopters. The simultaneous presence of 2 aircraft carriers in the area creates conditions for China to conduct full-scale exercises in the carrier versus carrier scenario, during which each strike group can act as a conditional opponent of the other. Such exercises are especially relevant in preparation for a theoretical conflict with the United States.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.